I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Kelly. We are back with another video. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and join me. I would very much appreciate it. If you like true crime stories, news, politics, and much more, I guarantee you would enjoy it as well. And if you're a returning listener or subscriber, thank you so much for being a friend, guys. Please interact with the video. If you like it, give it a like. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this topic. I would very much appreciate y'all, and it really does help me out. So I thank everyone in advance who is interacting with this video at this moment. So, guys, something big is coming, okay? And how do I know that something big is coming? Well, the predictive programming is out of control, okay? And we're seeing it getting ramped up at warp speeds. So if you're paying attention, then you already know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, well, let me bring you my point of view, okay? I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing, and it's getting scary out here, guys. They're depicting violent wars to come, and it's not looking too great for our dear country. So we're going to get into a couple of things. Without further ado, let's get into these two movies predicting somewhat of a dystopian, hellish future for our country. Okay, so this is from Breitbart, and if you guys haven't seen this, this came out just more recently. This was a couple days ago. I think I saw this trailer, which the movie doesn't look half bad, but the messaging behind it is somewhat alarming, and it's kind of I don't know, based on everything that we've already seen over the past several years and how the control has been applied to populations all over the world, governments are actively grabbing power. They're actively pursuing this globalist agenda against its own citizens. And if you're not alarmed by that, then you're one of the pod people that they want to target and get to go along with their plan. But if you're not down with that and eating all the bugs and doing all the things, living in the pods, then now's the time to wake up, because this is the type of propaganda that is put out that really just draws people closer and closer to this future that they are trying so desperately to lay out for all of us. And if you guys don't know what predictive programming is, I would just look into it. But first, let's watch the trailer for this movie. At least they're making original content. I will give them that, and I applaud them for that. I'm so glad that this is just not some remake of a movie that they've already done before. Okay, this is actually an original idea. So kudos for that, A+. But in regards to the messaging and the propagandized media that this movie is filled with, it's a little scary. So let's watch it.
19 states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
I guess aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
And that's your average NPC. This is your everyday American. Yeah, there might be chaos and destruction and absolute and utter satanic, nefarious happenings going on all throughout the country. But we don't want to look at that over there. Yeah, that's bad. That makes me have bad feelings. So I'm just going to keep not watching the news, and I'll just stay here in my bubble and just pretend like nothing's happening. That is mostly the case for most people in this country, which is part of the huge problem that we have now. People need to stop thinking that they're going to remain in their bubbles when shit hits the fan. When the rubber meets the road, you people who are in the bubbles, who don't want to look at the things, who don't want to actually have an opinion on anything that's controversial, y'all are going to be the ones that are going to have it the worst. Y'all are going to be the ones that will have a very hard time whenever times get bad. So now's not the time to just get complacent and think, oh, well, if it does, as long as it doesn't touch me, I'll just plug on my ears and close my eyes till I'm just stupefied into submission. No. But people like her, they exist. And I would say that they're probably the majority, okay? They're either ignorant on purpose or they're ignorant by way of just being an idiot.
Citizens of America.
And look at that. Okay, I thought that, I'm sorry, the 2-star flag, I noticed right away when I watched this trailer. That was one of the first things I noticed, was the 2-star flag. And I think that that alone in and of itself is such a dangerous piece of propaganda because it can radicalize people on both sides of the aisle. And I mean that to say that, like, on the right, it can get people amped up and excited for, I don't know, this like glorified battle that people are going to now be anticipating to a certain degree. Because once you take something like this into your psyche and you watch something like this, well, then it's not so hard to imagine it whenever it happens. That's the whole idea with predictive programming. It's like, it's to get you warmed up. It's to get you kind of understanding and visuals correlating to what might be happening to you in the near future or even in the distant future. Doesn't matter. It's all about just getting it in your mind. And on the left, people are going to see that and think that, you know, they can also get rid of certain people, certain states that they don't like, that they don't agree with. They can just cut them out of the country, and it's atrocious, really.
So-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens?
They're moving to D.C. today.
You need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death.
Flooded.
Every time I survived a war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay?
Okay. What kind of American are you?
Okay, and again, you know, the symbology, the messaging behind this, the characterization of whites as the evil, racist, gun-toting, violent people, okay? It's so disgusting to me that they continue to do this anti-white bullshit all throughout our media. And of course, he got the Hispanic, like, person of color who is, you know, the peaceful, pleading for his life. Hey, we're all Americans here. And then the white guy is, what kind there, boy? It's like, this is so disgusting to me. Because I just don't understand why the need to villainize white people continues to be a prominent feature within our media. Like, why is that a thing? And most often, I find that it's disingenuous and untrue, because most often white people are, for the most part, peaceful in this country, at least, and all throughout the Western countries as well. I mean, violence happens throughout all over the world. Every race of people has violent tendencies. All people have violent tendencies. But to just try to characterize white Americans as these evil, racist pieces of shit who just want to, like, kill the wrong kind of Americans is bullshit, and it's disgusting. The other thing that I noticed immediately when he talks about airstrikes against Americans, like, Mr. President, do you regret using airstrikes against Americans? Like, that is another huge, like, a line crossed in this movie. Isn't that what Biden has kind of alluded to before?
And ban the number of bullets that go in a magazine. There's no need for any of that. I love my right-wing friends who talk about the tree of liberty is water with the blood of patriots. If you need to work about taking on the federal government, you need some F-15s. You don't need an AR-15.
Wrong.
I signed the first major gun safety legislation in nearly 30 years. And I'll say what I said then, I'll say it over and over again. I am going to get assault weapons banned. I did it once, I'm going to do it again. Wrong. Right now, you can't go out and buy an automatic weapon. You can't go out and buy a cannon. And for those brave right-wing Americans who say it's all about keeping America's independent and safe, if you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15. You need something a little more than a gun. No, I'm not joking. Think about this. Think about the rationale we use that's used to provide this. And who are they shooting at? Wrong. You couldn't buy a cannon. Those who say the blood of patriots, you know, and all this stuff about how we're going to have to move against the government. Well, the tree of liberty is not water with the blood of patriots. What's happened is that there never been, if you wanted to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons.
Very nice words, but happens to be wrong.
There's a good chance I may have committed some light treason.
I mean, so that's basically them saying in your face that if it came down to it, yes, they would fight their own citizens. And it's so antithetical to our American values and what our Constitution is based upon. And I've said this before in videos, that if an uprising were to happen in this country, people act like it's such a bad thing. Like, wars are fought, people. Like, there's wars going on right now. People have gotten so far removed, especially in this country, in America. We've gotten so spoiled to think that, like, there will never be another war or conflict again that we will have to face or deal with. Like, that's just not the case. And, I mean, to think that it can never happen again on our soil is just foolish. So, I don't understand, like, why people are so just rabid in their, like, disdain for the idea of, like, a revolution happening in this country when this country was built on revolution. And it's written in our Constitution that if our government becomes too powerful, we as the people have the right and should take back control of our government and get the politicians and the leaders who are exerting too much power over our God-given rights, get them out of there. And it's not to say that we have to, like, kill them all. That's totally not the case at all. I mean, they might need to go to the gulags or, like, send them to Guantanamo Bay. We don't have to kill these people. But if they're fucking everyone in the country over, they gotta get up out of here. And to think that, like, the government would then turn around and to hold on to the power that they currently have, use airstrikes and fighter jets against American citizens and try to kill us for us trying to regain our government, that is so sick and distorted. It's very alarming to me, and it's unsettling, because it's like, if that doesn't tell you something about how your government and your leaders feel about you, I don't know what else would, because that is just not what they're supposed to be doing. They were sworn in to serve the country based on the Constitution and to uphold the Constitution. So they should all be very much aware and knowing that they're going into a position of service, that if it came down to it, the Constitution is the law of the land, and they are to uphold that document and our founding at all costs. So it means if people want you up out of power, step aside. Or, if you want to bring it to violence, then that's on them. Like, the American people, we don't want to get violent with nobody. For the most part, I feel like normal Americans, we just want a good government that works for us and that does what it says it's supposed to do. Okay? That's all. I feel like it's really simple for most people. But we also don't want to just sit back and allow ourselves to be cucked into this hellhole that we're currently in. So I just don't see that as such a radical position. But this anti-white shit has to stop.
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Oh my God.
Get in the car! Get in the car! Move!
All
You're gonna
empires
hang back.
fall.
I'm not hanging back.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh my God! Hello?
God bless America.
Could you guys ever imagine, like, what is this? I don't like this at all. I think that this is god awful. I mean, the movie looks well done. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it looks interesting, but I hate it for right now. The time that we're in right now, hated it. And, you know, I've kind of even changed my position a little bit somewhat, because there are evils in the world that we're fighting as people who want, you know, to uphold our American way of life and our country, and who just want decency and who want kind of things to be right in the country, and who want to do right by other American citizens. And that means, you know, looking out for America First interests. But it's like things like this are so divisive, and I feel like, you know, there was a time when I was like, yeah, fuck all the Democrats, fuck all the, like, crazy lunatic leftists who just want to, like, you know, trans all the kids and all this, like, and I still feel that way. If you're just like a genuinely idiotic leftist person who just ideological in nature, that you can't see past your own point of view, or you can't, like, give true reflection or have a true conversation or debate, then yeah, I really probably don't want anything to do with you. But there is more good people in this country than bad. And I do believe that we do need each other. We need different points of view. We need, you know, one core set of values. Obviously, we need to be a Christian nation, as was our founding. And we need to implement all of the values that we have always held in this country to be true and important. Like the nuclear family, like religion, like country, like the love of country, patriotism, like all of those things need to be core, and they need to be upheld and taught to young children. Stop the indoctrination of this, like, woke mind virus, and we need to get back to how we were doing things before. But I feel like that needs to happen by way of changing hearts and minds, because otherwise it just is going to end up being a huge, bloody, disastrous war and a mess. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We want, like, a better future for our kids and for the children of this country. At least I do. And I think that that needs to happen by coming together more than breaking more apart. And there are people whose minds can be changed. A lot of these lunatics who believe all of these crazy things, they probably just haven't talked and had a real, true conversation with a Trump supporter or somebody who is conservative. You know, I guarantee you, like, I have plenty of friends who, you know, once I started talking to them about my own views and my own opinions and told them that I was a Trump supporter, I mean, they were shocked. They didn't know. Like, people, you can't just tell them. I'm not, like, the red hat is not glued to my head. You know, like, it doesn't just always follow me everywhere I go. So people you meet in everyday life and that you talk to in your everyday life, they might have the complete opposite political views from you. But 9 times out of 10, you probably get along great with them and you don't even know or talk about it. And until you do, you know, everything's fine and dandy. But then you start to get talking about politics, and that's whenever you clash. But that's fine. We can have disagreements. We used to be able to have disagreements. But shit like this, it's a no for me, I think. So let's read this article. So Civil War, which is set to open in cinemas April 26, stars Kirsten Dunst as a journalist who covers the armed conflicts breaking out over the country. Journalists are apparently the good guys in this fantasy. Yeah, that's a change of scenery. Every time I've survived a war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are, she says. How brave. Later, a voice warns that insurrectionists' forces are closing in on Washington, D.C. In other news, free the January 6th protesters. In another scene from the trailer, a gun-toting militiaman, Jesse Plemons, ominously asks, "What kind of American are you, boy?" So stupid. The movie also stars Narcos actors Wagner Moura, Priscilla Starr, other people, and that I don't care about. So on its official site, A24 describes the movie as an adrenaline-fueled thrill ride through a near-future fractured America balanced on the razor's edge. So this article is from Screen Rant, What Caused the Civil War in A24's new 2024 movie. So the film depicts an extreme but plausible American dystopia in which 19 states, led by Texas and California, secede from the country. The Western forces, united under a new American flag, are shown to have advanced military-grade equipment, raising questions about their source of supplies and potential third-party involvement. That was actually not what I questioned at all. I wonder where these guys got all their stuff from. Like, this is stupid. Probably all of the military bases we have all over everywhere. Like, I don't know. So, I mean, what? Okay. With the release of the first trailer for Alex Garland's latest film, Civil War, there are several key elements that need to be deciphered. Garland's ambitious and potentially controversial cautionary film is backed by popular independent production company A24 in what appears to be its first major blockbuster effort. With a reported budget of $75 million, which is still on the lower end of traditional Hollywood studio whatever, Civil War will be a bold introduction for A24 into the competitive world of widely distributed commercialized content. Okay, it's starring all these people. Nick Offerman, that's the guy who I was thinking of, as a tyrannical United States president. It appears to be a fearless take on an extreme but potentially plausible form of American dystopia in which 19 states secede from the country. The Western forces, led by the unlikely alliance of Texas and California. Yeah, and by the way, never would happen, okay? First of all, Texas would be the first ones to kick California out of the country, okay? Let me just say that. Well, I think we can all collectively agree. If one state has to go first, it's going to be them. You know, obviously kidding, but maybe not. An earthquake might take it out for us. We don't know. The San Andreas fault could crack at any given moment, okay? We wouldn't be mad about it. I'm kidding. California, you know, just you guys, listen. Y'all know what y'all are doing over there. Just stop. Just stop it. Then you can stay. So anyways, but yeah, what a weird alliance. What a weird thing to propose as the likely alliance of Texas and California. Like, what? In what world? Okay, first of all, it would be the South, I feel like, against everyone. It would be like Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, and we would just like, I don't know, we would go savage on y'all. But I'm just saying, I'm not advocating for that, obviously. I don't believe in that, but let's just be realistic here. Let's make it a little bit more true to form. Anywho, we continue. So they have militarized under a new American flag with 2 stars as opposed to 50. There's also mention of a Florida alliance and a glimpse of several U.S. factions shown in the Civil War trailer, which includes Washington, Montana, Georgia, Louisiana, and Minnesota as some of the states that seceded. Let's go, Louisiana. First of all, in Washington, they'd stay their ass put right there, I feel like, too. Like, what? This is so bizarre. Okay, so the reasoning behind the seemingly bizarre alliance in the film points to the notion that the war isn't over Democrat and Republican politics, but more about Offerman's corrupt 3-term presidency. What? Like, what? Literally, what? Is that really what it is? I think these people are just, like, inferring things. Like, they're just making assumptions because... Why is that so controversial? Like, hello, FDR, do we remember him? He was elected 4 times. And up until his presidency, there was no law that the president couldn't serve more than 2 terms. That's a fairly recent law, if we're talking about in terms of our country and the age of this country. And by the way, let's make President Trump King Trump. I'm just saying. You know, just until he dies. It's not going to be a monarchy. He's not going to get to pass it on. But up and until Donald Trump dies, he'll be the king. We won't have to worry about it for a while. Just let him do his, you know, orange man shtick. And then we'll be good for a little while, you know. He's an old man, you know, in retrospect. So it won't be like a forever. You know, you people can settle down. But I don't just see like this happening. Like, oh, somebody's staying 3 terms. We have to start a civil war over it, and everybody's going to secede. I feel like there's more likely causes of a civil war breaking out in America rather than just a president, you know, going for a third term. You know, it's been done. It's been done before. So the United States federal government has apparently disavowed its allegiance to the United States Constitution and is now held under the budding dictatorship of Offerman's tyrannical president. In order for a state to legally secede from the U.S., it would need the approval of 34 other states, indicating that California and Texas likely seceded illegally in Garland's Civil War. At first glance, it appears that the Western forces are fighting against the rise of a totalitarian government under Offerman's presidency, rather than over any differences in political ideology. Again, so it's really not true to what is currently the situation going on in America. So in that regard, I kind of like it more because it's not so blatantly pushing what is currently going on right now, but it's still very sketchy territory that we're in here. The Western forces could also be uniting and fighting over a water shortage crisis, or the conflict could have something to do with capitalism, tax rates, and the tech sector. Hello, that's more like it. Now you're hitting the nail with the head of the hammer. Yeah, that I could get behind. Okay. I'm just saying, that's some real serious shit. So, most of the major tech companies in the U.S., such as Google, Amazon, and Tesla, are in the fictionally seceded states, such as California, Texas, and Washington. Based on a backward map displayed at the 40-second mark in the Civil War trailer, the entire East Coast remains a part of the United States. The westernmost states that have apparently not seceded are Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico, which indicates that the war is likely not over a water crisis, since those are three of the driest states in America. The southernmost state that has not seceded based on the Civil War trailer appears to be South Carolina. They would. Alaska and Hawaii are also either neutral parties or still a part of the United States. So according to this article, the biggest question from the trailer, other than which side is fighting for the right reasons, is how they got all their dang military gear. Where'd y'all get all this gear from? I know that was my question. That was the first thing I thought of. Was like, hey, where'd you guys get all these tanks? What? What the what? These people are fucking idiots. This is definitely written by someone who lives in California. So the main characters in Civil War, played by Dunst and Mora, are photojournalists who are likely trying to capture the events as objectively as possible. The trailer does state that journalists were getting killed in Washington, D.C., hinting that Dunst and Mora could end up on the side of the resistance, or at least feel more comfortable with the Western forces. Offerman's president appears to be a fascist dictator who is intent on forming a totalitarian government. He is apparently willing to destabilize his own country to impose an anti-American sovereignty. I don't know. I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. He was more giving like, we're going to keep this country together. Like, you guys need to stay right over here. Let's not just break up the entire country that we've worked so hard to build up. I don't know. But I guess, maybe I'll have to see this movie. I don't know if I will. You guys let me know in the comments. Do y'all want to see this? Does this look like something that you can get behind? And I'm not talking about the war. I'm talking about the movie. But let me know either way in the comments. And let's move on to the next one that I actually have seen. Sad to say, I've seen this movie. But nevertheless, I was kind of backed into the situation. And once I was in, there was no getting out of it. So I'm not trying to, not take accountability or anything like that. I'm just saying that by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late, type of thing. Leave the world behind, okay? Have you guys seen this new Netflix movie? If you have not, don't. I warn you now. It is awful. It is god-awful. It is brain-draining. It is just, probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Not even gonna lie. Not even gonna hold you, okay? But it is also very telling in its messaging, and it is executive produced by none other than Barack and Michelle Obama. Go figure that, right? This was something I didn't know, and this is what I mean when I say that I was kind of tricked into watching this movie, because I've been seeing the commercials for this, and like, shockingly enough, I was like, oh, that actually looks good. I was like, another, you know, original idea. This is not a remake of a movie. It's a movie based upon a book, which is fine. You know, like, that happens all the time. And I was actually anticipating and kind of getting hyped up about wanting to see this. It looked a little dystopian, very kind of mysterious suspense, like right up my alley. So I was wanting to watch this. And then once I finally sat down to do it and the opening credits started rolling and I saw the executive produced by Barack and Michelle Obama, I almost threw up my mouth, first of all. Second of all, I almost shut the movie off. My dad and I were watching it together and he was like,
You sure about that? You sure about that?
And I was like, well, should we, you know, we both kind of contemplated it for a second. We were like, what? Do we even want to watch this absolute trash? But like I said, we were already balls deep into the opening credits, so we went ahead with it. And, you know, I have regrets. I have regrets. So let's get into this. We'll start with the trailer as we did with the other movie, and then we'll come back to this article.
I went online this morning and I rented us a beautiful house out by the beach. I figured if I made the reservation and packed our bags, it would eliminate most of the reasons to say no.
Oh, this is nice. Kids look so happy.
The Wi-Fi isn't working. Get a pad.
I'm so sorry to bother you, but this is our house.
This is your house?
We were driving back to the city, then something happened.
You want to stay here, but we're staying here.
We need to get them out of here.
I need to think everything's gonna be okay.
Everything is going to be okay, isn't it?
We are seeing ongoing cyber attacks across the country.
Something is happening, and I don't trust them.
Everything I know, I have told you.
I don't believe you.
I would do anything to protect my family. What you do is your business.
Get in the car right now!
Haven't you been picking up on what's going on out there?
Whatever it is, it's happening to all of us.
I just want to know, what is the truth?
And I just want to know, whose fucking idea was it to make this movie? Because F, your life is a failure. So, it was, from start to finish, where do I even begin? The score of the movie first is what bugged me after noticing who executive produced it. And I will admit, I have my biases, so maybe I was affected personally by the idea of an ex-president. Some might say, puppet president currently, controlling the strings of Joe Biden, but that's neither here nor there. But an ex-president making a film like this in which technological warfare is perpetrated against American citizens by unknown and unseen foreign entities or potentially domestic entities that are trying to psychologically fuck the brains of American citizens to try to turn them against one another and basically create this violence that will then wipe out the population and allow these evil forces to then swoop in and kind of just easily take over. So that's basically the broad gist of the movie. But the score immediately, it was so bizarre. And I wish I could play clips, but it's a Netflix. I don't even know if this trailer is going to be allowed. We'll see if I try to upload it, but it's like the score was so bad immediately, and they started off with this weird rap opening song, didn't fit the movie. She was going through the house at one point to this other bizarre, I don't know, I just can't, I guess you have to see it for yourself. But in my opinion, it started off very odd, very disjointed in the music selection for this bizarre film in which they make Julia Roberts, who is the lead actress in the movie, out to be this like evil, and for all intents and purposes, I mean, use the term Karen, just because everyone knows what that means. It's become synonymous to like an evil white woman, basically, is what they're trying to do. Evil, racist white woman who just has a stick up her ass and is trying to control everything. That's how they're portraying this family. She's the controlling, angry white mother. And they come to rent this home, and they're kind of like schlubbed out. You see them like all in like casual attire, and then they're met by these black pair who come and knock on the door late at night after they've kind of started to notice some bizarre happenings. The Wi-Fi goes out. They're starting to notice that like things are starting to kind of go haywire, and then they get a knock on the door from this father and daughter who are dressed in like these nice clothes, very presentable, this wealthy black family who is claiming to be the owners of this property. And Julia Roberts like meets them with like this, you own this house, you blacks own this. Yes, yeah, just make it so blatantly obvious that you hate white people. Okay, great. And what you really think about white people, it's like so stupid to me. It's like most white people understand that all races of people have money. All races of people, nobody's gonna like, or there might be some people out there that would do it, but people are stupid. It's just bizarre to me that it always has to be a theme behind every single thing to make these white people look so bad. And it just continues all throughout the movie. She's very distrusting of specifically his daughter, and she's very rude to this father and daughter all throughout the movie, just for no reason, apparently, distrusting immediately. And then it kind of continues on where they're stuck in this house trying to figure out what it is that's going on, what is causing all of this commotion, what is causing all of this disturbance, and it just kind of goes downhill from there. The ending was the worst thing I've ever seen. It was the worst. I mean, my God, when I tell you I was viscerally angry at the end of this movie, I wanted to punch the screen. I wanted to literally throw my TV in the trash because it just ends with no further explanation. And from what I could see online, it's been kind of a controversial ending where people are just as pissed off as I am. Rightfully so, because it just ends like on such a retard level where Julia Roberts and the girl, like the daughter of the black guy who owns the house, are standing on this overlook watching as New York City is getting like bombed, and they can like see this kind of off in the distance. The daughter of Julia Roberts is somewhere. She's like broken into some neighbor's house, like watching Friends in a bunker, in like a bomb bunker or whatever. And it's just all these different like storylines that are in the middle of playing out that have no clear ending. Once the movie's credits actually roll, we have no way of knowing how any of this ends. Like, everyone's storylines are just completely left up in the air. Like, we are left in complete and utter limbo. And so if that's your kind of thing, check it out. If not, and you don't like weird, dystopian, poorly executively produced by shitty racist ex-presidents, I wouldn't see this film. I definitely would not. But y'all let me know if y'all have seen it, if you already have seen it, if you're planning on seeing it. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know, guys. And it really was actually well made. Like, I thought the visuals of it were actually pretty good. You know, like the oil tanker coming up onto the shore. The idea and the plot of the movie had potential. It was the underlying ideology that's shoved in there and the anti-white racism that I just can't stomach anymore. I just cannot take it. And the push for like this more division, this like more fight your neighbor type of rhetoric that we're seeing. I just, I'm not down with it. Like, why couldn't we have had this movie, but like, instead of the like infighting between the black family and the white family, why would they not just come together? I feel like that wouldn't be the case. There was like the black dad was like, he was just such this great guy. He was like always level headed, always very like even keeled. Like he just never really lost his cool all throughout the movie. He was very understanding as Julia Roberts was like berating him. Her character just being such a bitch, like such an absolute disgusting person towards him and his daughter. He was just taking it on the chin, didn't care. And it just was like so dishonest and so just rife with Barack Obama's own personal viewpoints that it's just nausea inducing. So beware, view at your own risk. Okay, guys, so and then this from MSNBC, of course, conservatives fixate on one line and leave the world behind and miss the point. So all you stupid conservatives out there, you guys, we all missed the point, okay? Because we couldn't get past the anti-white racism. So what was the line that made kind of a bit of news and kind of got people all stirred up online? Myself included. When I heard the line in the movie, I was like disgusted by it as well. And I was like, this is just trash. This is absolute and utter garbage. But MSNBC had to just make it seem like, oh, we're the ones that's overreacting. You guys, y'all are just too sensitive. All you white conservatives out there, y'all just need to like sit down and shut up again. But if the races and the line had been reversed, the movie wouldn't have even been able to be released. So, and James Wood had a very good tweet on it. He said, the Obamas are two of the most influential people on the planet. Politics aside, you have to agree that their potential power to create good in the world is monumental. That's why seeing that power used to promote racial hatred is deeply disappointing. Kayleigh McEnany said, why isn't the headline, the former president reviewed a script embedded with this racist line, and how did it get through? So what was the line, you might ask? Well, let me play it for you guys.
I'm asking for you to remember that if the world falls apart, trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially white people.
Okay, girl, whatever. Stay the fuck away from me then. Please, because good luck to you with that attitude. Just disgusting. So, okay, so Ruth is the daughter of the owner of the house. Ruth's open distrust of the Sanfords signifies a generational difference in how racism gets called out by black people. Ruth wants the Sanfords gone, convinced she and her father would be safer by themselves. George isn't oblivious to the prejudice and suspicion he faced as he tried to explain the situation to the Sanfords or to the dangers that black people face as they encounter white strangers on doorsteps. He still believes, though, that this is a shared life, and he's right. So what do you guys believe? What the writer of this article, is it not a shared life? Are we to just go against one another and just white people bad? Black people need to fear white people? How ridiculous do you sound? So he still believes that this is a shared life, that our best hope of survival is cooperation, and conversely, as the film points out, our greatest obstacle is not hackers and bombs, but each other. How incredibly meaningful. Wow. So brave, so bold. So just a god-awful movie. Please don't see it. Unless you really want to. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your own time and your own life. But just be forewarned that, these are trash. These are trash characters, trash movie. Had potential, didn't make it. Okay, fell short. So the last thing, speaking of falling short, that I want to show you guys is from Joe Biden. The doctor, supposed doctor. This dystopian ass video might scare you. So again, this is all watch at your own risk content. So just letting you know, just putting it out there. I want to go to the this clip from Slightly Offensive. He plays the video, and I just like his commentary. This is from Elijah Schaefer. He was hosting his show with Gothics, and they were reacting to this video put out by Joe Biden. So I just liked his commentary that he put with it. So I'm going to be commenting and reacting to his commentary and his reaction. So if that doesn't put you in the matrix, then I don't know how we get there.
And what we're about to watch, what in the fresh hell is this shit? And I got to tell you, Where the fuck have you been, you loser? What do you think's going on here? Wake up. Wake up, okay? I like the fact that in Australia they use the word cunt a lot. And the reason why it should be used more is because, think about this. Every time you start thinking, well, why is the world like this? Hey, cunt, wake the fuck up, right? They'll tell you that out of love. The pastor will call you a cunt because he loves you, because he's telling you stop being one and wake up and stop questioning. And I saw this video and I thought it was fake. It was posted by Jill Biden. And it's apparently like a Christmas thing. Benny Johnson shared it. And I'm like,
oh, no.
What's on here? This is, I don't even know if we're going to watch the whole thing, but I'll go ahead and play it anyways because it's so retarded.
And it's an immediate fucking no from me. Okay, so we have this fucking, this video. My God. If there is an epitome of what is wrong with this country in modern society, it's this video. This video is filling the moment. It is filling the void for an explanation of what is wrong with current America. We start off with a black woman, okay, dancing, jazz tap dancing down the halls of a White House corridor that is decorated with this tacky ass candy cane striped pattern. I don't know what kind of weird ass dystopian bread and circus shit this is, but I hate it. I hate it. And it's like somebody, I was watching a podcast and somebody was like, read the room, read the moment. This country is in utter turmoil, okay? Biden's in the middle of an impeachment inquiry, which is probably going to be a whole big-ass nothing, like it always is. You know, that he's a fucking crook. He's half dead. You know, everyone in America is struggling to pay bills and buy basic necessities. Okay, we're probably going to be facing a war soon. I mean, our dollar's diminishing. Everything is wrong. And here you guys are putting this black woman up here and having her tippy-tap her way up and down this freaking hallway. And then weird-ass, like, characters from The Shining, you know, that were getting the BJ in the room. They're going to come out of the hallways like it's damn The Hills Have Eyes. I mean, I'm scared. What the hell is that? What the fuck? I mean, who are you people? And how did you get in here? And this music is fucking tacky. What is this? More black women. Her face. Her face is me. Look at this one. Look at this one. What in the actual fresh hell? I mean, jeez. And this boss babe, her black suit. Girl, go straight to hell. Right? Oh, this is. This is unhinged. This is unhinged. I mean, ugh. Oh my God. Sir. Okay, you're wanted back on the set of The Shining because what in the fuck is going on here? I mean, how did you escape the furry convention? This is sick. This is sickness. Okay.
How many of them were gay or
All of them.
Trans?
Literally all.
It was like, hey, can you give me a bunch of, hey boy, can you fetch me a couple blacks out there and get me a couple gays? It was like, well, the forced diversity is what I hate. Do you know what I hate the most?
Hated it.
I hate, and I hate this for black people. I hate this for black people. I hate the shit that's like this, which this is the visual performing arts version of like celebrating Black Fridays or something, where you're like,
Black Fridays,
like, dude, really? Half the actors are black, like 50%, and like you may be like, well, hey, it's a basketball game. Is there really that many black tap dancers? Like, let's just be honest with this shit,
right?
I need to start saying the N-word soon. I haven't gotten there yet, but I need to start owning it. But let's call them brothers today. How many brothers?
That was the best part of it all. I mean, it's just so funny. I love Elijah. He's good people. He makes a good show. I enjoy his podcast most of the time. Sometimes he gets a little deranged, but that's what I like about him. Hey, whatever. Let's bring it on. But literally my reaction to this video from hell. I mean, it came straight out of Satan's armpit, because what even is that? What even is that? Okay, it's just, there was no reason for it. Again, with the music choice was like, I mean, I feel like that was almost hypnotic in the way that it was like not melodic at all. It was not like very nice sounding to the ears. There was like weird horns. I just hated everything about it. Don't understand why we needed something like that. Again, read the room. You know, this like happy-go-lucky video with all these weird-ass gay characters. Diversity is our greatest strength bullshit is factually not true, and nobody wants to see it right now. People are struggling. Keep it to yourself, okay? And he's right. It is a slap in the face to black people when they do shit like this, because it's their way of basically saying to black people and other minorities that, well, you wouldn't be able to be brought into the fold normally because we really don't want you here, but because we're so woke and we're so progressive, we're going to go out of our way to make it a point to make you either the focal point of the whole entire video or outnumber white people like on a massive scale, so that way they'll be drowned out, and we'll make minorities and the gays the focal point of the show, because you wouldn't be able to get there on your own merit. You know, it's just like, it really is degrading, and I don't understand how people don't see that yet, but that's just my point of view. What are you guys' thoughts on everything, though? I really would love to know, and yeah, leave it in the comments, guys, and please like this video if you guys liked it, because it's a lot of shit going on. It's a whole lot of bullshit, and I want to know what you guys are thinking. So until next time, y'all take it easy, and yeah, we'll see y'all later, guys. Bye.
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.